Hi folks, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Brooks Ghost 13 running shoe and how it held up to 300 miles. Now the Ghost is Brooks' most popular running shoe. When I first began running, I had a Ghost in my rotation all the time, but now this is the first time I've run in the Ghost in over 6 years. This is a neutral support running shoe which is designed for roads. It has an aggressive 12mm drop, so the heel is 12mm higher than the forefoot. It is considered a cushion shoe. Also, it's designed for medium to high arches, which is you can see looking at this inner sole. And it costs $130. Brooks touts 3 improvements they've made from the version 12 to this version 13. The first is they've extended the DNA loft, which is the compound they put in the sole. That's the term they give their compound. Every company has their own term, but that's the compound that provides both the cushioning and the responsiveness. They've extended that, what used to just be in the heel, they've now moved it up to the forefoot. That's number one. Number two, and really that's just a result of the first one, is by moving that DNA loft even further up, they feel they've made the shoe even softer. The third thing is they have re-engineered the mesh along the front here to, one, make it more breathable, but two, just improve the elasticity in it such that it really hugs the foot even firmer. The Ghost is one of the most popular running shoes, period. And there's a reason for that. It's a very welcoming shoe. And by welcoming, I mean it seems to really want to invite your foot in, make it nice and cozy such that you want to stay for a while. I felt great on the heel. One of the things I really like about the Brooks is they all shoes have a plastic heel cup, but most of them are always embedded within the mesh. Some of this is embedded, but I like the way they've incorporated it onto the outside of the shoe. As far as the ankle collar, I thought it was going to be, there's quite a lot of cushioning here, and I thought such that it might even be a little bit uncomfortable. But no, it wasn't. It just hugged your foot nicely. I do think they could perhaps lose a little bit of that cushioning. I do still think it's excessive. I'm not really sure what this piping offers here on the side other than the look. As for the midsole, I felt nice and snug within it. This is a non-gusseted tongue, and normally I don't like round laces, but these really aren't round. They're more oval, and once they stretch, they flatten out. So I was happy with that. I feel the toe box was slightly on the wider side, but what I liked best about this Ghost was this re-engineered mesh, because even though I felt it was perhaps a little bit wider, the way it's designed, elasticity really held my foot nice and snug, and which I bet is going to be the case for many different feet, which is one of the reasons this is such a popular shoe. So my initial run with the Ghost, the first thing I noticed was it had less cushioning than the shoes I had been running with previously. And that's not to say that's a bad thing at all. It's just if you go from a softer mattress to a firmer mattress, you're going to notice. And so what you would expect perhaps though is if you have less cushioning, maybe you get more responsiveness. Well, sure enough, that first run I was out doing a typical 9 to 9:05 minute miles for me. And when I was done, I actually had clocked in at 8:52. So less cushioning, but certainly I was getting more responsiveness. And I'll just add to it, I felt the less cushioning was more evident certainly in the forefoot than the heel. Now the interesting thing about the responsiveness is, so I could feel it when I was running. I knew I was probably running a little bit quicker. And then it wasn't so much that it was springing me forward, but what it was it seemed to just help roll me forward into like more of a stronger lift off, which is probably the trait that makes this such a popular running shoe. The shoe held up great for the 300 miles. I would say for the cushioning, at mile 300, there's slightly less than there was at mile 1. But I think it was just a very gradual drop. And as far as that responsiveness and reflectivity we talked about, I remember it was about mile 220 when I did notice it just seemed to be a slight drop, but then it seemed to plateau again. So if you look at the graph, you've got that very gradual drop for the cushioning,
and then that one little bit of a drop in the reflectivity, which then it was going ahead and leveled off again. Now, as far as durability, let me tell you, this shoe held up better than any other shoe I've worn, except maybe the Wave Rider. I'm a heel striker, but if you look along the heel, you can see there's some wear on this area where I hit. But if you look at the side, I'd say, you know, I've probably worn it down to maybe half, a little bit over half, which would tell you that that this shoe, to me, has easily another 150 to 200 miles in. And with that, as you can expect, since the soles held up so well, the grip is just as good on mile 300 as it was on mile 1. As far as the look of this shoe, again, it's all just personal preference, right? But I will say I do like some of the little styles and flares they put on it. But they also make this in 13 different shades and styles, so surely you'll be able to find something that you like. So to summarize, this is a very popular shoe and a very dependable shoe. A few things just to note: if you've run with a flatter shoe or didn't have as big a drop, this 12 millimeter drop is pretty aggressive. And also with the medium to high arches, is just, if you have flat feet, you might want to give it a bit of a run and a tryout before you purchase them. If you're looking to get the most miles for your money, I don't know any shoe where you're going to get more miles than you can with the Ghost. Again, I think this is probably going to be good for another 150 to 200 miles. So thanks so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or opinions about the shoe, please put them in the comment section down below. It's great for folks to be able to hear what other people think about the shoes. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to our channel. The next shoe we're going to be reviewing is going to be the New Balance 880. That's all we've been doing lately are these shoe reviews. We haven't been able to do any of our state races. Matter of fact, the last one we did was Louisiana Marathon, which is over a year ago out in Baton Rouge. But you know, the vaccines are making the rounds and the infection numbers are going down, so hopefully we'll all be able to get out there and run again soon. So thanks, and keep racing the nation. So in this rendition of Stupid Things to Argue About with Your Wife is TV commercials, specifically the Geico Gecko. My wife, being from England, says, 1, they don't have geckos in England, so 2, why would it ever talk with a Cockney accent? She's adamant that the gecko should have a Mexican accent, since that's the only place she ever saw a gecko. I disagree. While I'm not sold on the Cockney accent, I think perhaps a New Zealand accent, because I'm sure they have geckos there as well, would be more appropriate. So, however, the one thing we do agree on, that the Burger King is nightmarishly freaky.